Welcome, live viewers. Welcome, replay viewers, to my broadcast. I am simulcasting on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope, all at Tiffany TLC Music. Almost all my own music, except one song written for me. I come on here most weekdays between about 5:15 and 6:15 p.m. Pacific time, somewhere in there, for about half hour, 40 minutes or so. Takes me a second to be able to see who is hopping on. There are a number of people on Periscope. Yay, Mark, good to see you. Hi Wesley, how are you doing? How are you guys doing? Hi 1N1T1ALS. And it's somebody's first day on Periscope. Thanks for sharing, 1N. And welcome, Jar Fexad. It's your first day. Periscope is a great place to be. Marcus, how are you doing? How are things going with you? Yay, Wesley. Glad to hear it. Thanks for inviting followers. All right, so I've got Twitch open. Let me get Facebook open. Thanks for sharing, Mark. For anybody who's new, I hope you consider following if you like the music, and then I hope you consider sharing also. It would be great. All right, I am opening Facebook, and then last but not least, I'm going to open YouTube. So as for an update for us, our big news is smoke, smoke, smoke. Yay, Mark. Well, I'm going to complain. Hi, swollen thumb. Oh, I hope that doesn't mean you hit it with a hammer. We are inundated with smoke, and we have been for over a month now, and it got particularly bad this past weekend, hazardous level. I don't know if you've heard the news, but the entire West Coast is on fire. Hi, Danger Art Regrind. The only good news is we're not in a fire-prone area, so we just get all the smoke. And it's really scary because there's only so much you can do in terms of indoor filtration. And, well, that's not true. There's only so much we have so far been able to do, I guess. And, yeah, it's equivalent of smoking a lot of cigarettes, apparently. So bad, the smoke was so bad that we canceled our trip to Yosemite planned for next week because the air quality was doubly bad there. And a little scary to be in forest right now, although there are no major fires near that forest, but that can change. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, Mark. It's apocalyptic. All the descriptions are absolutely on target. Apocalyptic. It's adding this on top of COVID, I have to tell you, has been straining all of us to the nth degree. And I can only imagine if I was one of the people that had to be evacuated. As it is, I'm barely holding on. You have to deliberately stay calm because wildlife and smoke, wildlife runs instinctively, and there's this part of you that's like, we got to get out of here. But if you look up and down the state and even at neighboring states, there's nowhere to go, except really, really, really far away. But that's not practical. So yeah, it's been a real challenge. Thanks so much for the empathic face, Mark. It's really, I cannot overstate. It's COVID squared. And it's really creepy to be locked down physically, like sheltering in place from two terrifying outdoor things. It's like, wow, never been there. Never even done that with one thing, let alone two. Well, I guess we had a couple days last year with smoke. Over the years with climate change, our smoke has gotten worse and worse and worse. The only relief I find is campaigning. Is there, Wesley? Well, I would take that. They've told us that the news out here says that we're not going to really see any significant relief from the smoke, like solid for sure relief until the rains come, which could be a while. Of course, once the fires dissipate, but fire season is 2.5 months longer out here than it used to be. Both of these disasters were preventable. Yes, Wesley, I have a relative who lives in Alabama, and we understand they're in the possibility of mass flooding zone. Apparently there's some mass flash flooding that could happen in that state. scary. All right, so this is my song Income Inequality. This is about a global concern that a global issue, worse in some parts of the world than others, that really concerns me, and I think often is unseen or it's not fully appreciated for its impact. Safety first, James, right? So good to see you. All right, here we go. Income inequality. Why does my phone keep dimming? Yeah, Wesley, that'd be nice. Income inequality, full of corrosivity, resentment building sea to sea, creating instability, war and criminality, right? From income inequality, we must break free. The irony that's plain to see in studies of rich countries is that income equality helps even the most wealthy with better public health from A to Z. For income equality can set us all free. Thanks, Wesley. From income inequality, full of corrosivity, resentment building sea to sea, creating instability, war and criminality. From income inequality, we must break free. By nearly every measure we can read, from trust to obesity, mental health to life expectancy, all are better off we see, even the most wealthy. For income equality can set us all free. From income inequality, full of corrosivity, resentment building sea to sea, creating instability, war and criminality. From income inequality, we must break free. And with research we can see, without financial worry, people volunteer, really create higher quality with greater ingenuity. For income equality can set us all free. From income inequality, full of corrosivity, resentment building sea to sea, creating instability, war and criminality. From income inequality, we must break free. But then we would be surprised to see better fruit from an apple tree growing in the shade, punished so it will obey. People are the same, we know today. For income equality can set us all free. Thanks, James. From income inequality, full of corrosivity, resentment building sea to sea, creating instability, war and criminality. From income inequality, we must break free. Dr. X, good to see you. It's not about what he deserves. There's a reason for every single swerve. When people falter very near, the solution is recovery. Help to be all we can be. For income equality can set us all free. From income inequality, full of corrosivity, resentment building sea to sea, creating instability, war and criminality, from income inequality. We must break free. Just imagine the possibility with innovations flowing freely on without the massive waste we see from tracking time and money and punishing those in need for income equality can set us all free. Thank you. Thanks, Dr. X. Hi, Maria. Yeah, I felt this topic needed to be embodied in a song. I've written about the topic. I have a blog post on my law practice website and it has tons and tons of footnotes. So there's research that I'm referencing with all of these. I've kind of joked that maybe it'd be funny to have the song with footnotes. Footnote 1 or something. Thank you. But if anybody's curious, I can cite 3 main sources. The main source focused exactly on income inequality and the harm it causes across wealth levels when we study high income countries. Is the Equality Trust. It's in Europe, and it compiled hundreds of studies on this issue. Yeah, so if you Google Equality Trust, it describes the really surprising public health damages across the spectrum, whether you're wealthy or in poverty. In those countries where there's greater income inequality, there's worse scores on every public health measure: trust, obesity, mental health, life expectancy. And then there are also a couple of other books that kind of are chock full of studies that relate to this topic a little more indirectly, which I love the book Drive. Not remembering Dr. Dan Pink, and also especially is you know what I'm talking about. So cool. Punished by Rewards by Alfie Kohn. Hundreds of studies in that book. That's kind of about the idea that we really, both Drive and Punished by Rewards bring in studies that get to the idea that we actually want to scale Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and to the extent our needs are met, and I mean social, emotional, physical, that's what we naturally do. We all have dreams, we aspire. Basically, these are visions of contribution, and we produce and create at really high levels when we have those basic needs met. And we all know that, like when we think about raising our children, we don't think deprivation will really get them going, help them be all they can be. Hi, James. So anyway, so there's that. Someday on my music website, which is still a work in progress, sort of, the URL is there. It's not, progress is a strong word. Maybe I will put footnotes to the song. That would be very funny. All right, so that was income inequality. Feel free to share how you're doing wherever you are. Just to keep throwing it out there. We are in the apocalypse. Oh, I wish I had. Oh, I don't have my phone. I wonder if I could screenshot that before it disappears. I did. Cool. Because I haven't always been listening to my broadcast. So thanks for sharing that. Add it to my unending book list that doesn't get any shorter. Alon, so good to see you there on Twitch. How are you doing today? If you feel like sharing, dinosaurs and my favorite, the hands. Gosh, what was I going to say? So the one word answer to how am I doing as an update is smoke. If any of you have been watching the news here on the West Coast, it is not exaggerated, the apocalyptic experience we are going through. We're on over a month of severely unhealthy air quality. It is really horrible to be not only trapped on your own property because of COVID, thanks for the hearts, but in your own house because of the smoke. You can't even go in your backyard. And it's really testing everybody's capacity. I think, and in particular, the folks who have had to evacuate. It's tragic and horrendous. And I'm barely coping. My family is barely coping just emotionally with just the smoke, Thanks. Yeah, it's awful. I am thankfully, the one good thing about where we live is that it tends to collect more smoke than some of the other spots. However, it would be a real freak situation for where we are to be evacuated or be on fire. It's just, we're the capital of the state of California, and it's very flat around here. There's not a lot of forest area at all. I know, the death, it's human cause. Well, I mean, it depends on, I know there are certain, often, I guess 90% of fires have usually something to do with people. A lot of our fires were caused by horrendous extreme weather, lightning storms. But then, of course, really the underlying condition that's created the historic nature of these fires has been climate change. Our forests are dry to the bone. Every summer here is appreciably hotter than the summer before. And it's gotten to where my husband grew up here, never saw a fire. And now it's literally like every year there's a longer period of time that we're just inundated with smoke, evacuations. We keep setting records for the biggest fires. It's terrifying. It's really scary. I don't want to scare anybody in terms of me. I think I'm really not at risk of being evacuated or dying in a fire. But the air quality is seriously bad. We just canceled a trip to Yosemite because the air quality is in the gas mask, hazardous, the darkest purple color you can have it be on the rating color chart. So it's hard. I will not lie. It is hard. It is really, really stressful. So with that said, you guys keep me going, and just a lot of meditation so that I don't run screaming from this state to several states away. There's really no place to go in our state that's consistently smoke-free now, and even neighboring states. So on that happy note, let's do a happy song. How about I Want to Live Before I Die? It is a happy song, notwithstanding the title. It's really just about, for those who have not heard it, the idea of not letting fear get in our way of doing the things we want to do with our lives, kind of hitting a point where you go, wait a minute, my life's half over, or whatever it is. I wrote it when I turned 40, so it wasn't quite half over, hopefully. I come from aged stock. I think my grandma was 98 when she died. So anyway, I'm trying to find the song here. But if you feel like sharing how you're doing, if you haven't yet already, wherever you are, COVID-wise or otherwise. COVID is sort of a non-issue in a lot of places, but again, not where I live. Not where I live. All right, so this is kind of a strumming as opposed to some of my picking songs. Kind of a rockish sort of, light rock, I guess. Let's see. There we go. Not looking for ways to hurt myself, no death-defying tricks. Just wanna be all that I can be, and maybe take a couple of risks. Don't wanna let fear stop me or lead me off track. Just wanna live my life and no holding back. Sorry, Alon, I just saw your comment. I'll answer in a sec. I wanna live before I die. You know I really wanna live before I die. No growing old with a sigh. I just don't wanna live before I die. There comes a time for song, and that time it came for me. When the pain of holding back, it was worse than breaking free. It wasn't always so clear to me. You know I've known fear so well. So glad that I can move through, and now it's not where I wanna dwell. 'Cause I wanna live before I die. You know I really wanna live before I die. No growing old with a sigh. I just wanna live before I die. So much I wanna give, so much that I wanna be. So that is it. Here I come, I'm giving all that I've got in me. 'Cause I wanna live before I die. You know I really wanna live before I die. No growing old with a sigh. Just wanna live before I die. I just wanna live before I die. Thanks for listening to that. Sorry, Alon, I didn't see you were there on YouTube saying things. I'm sorry. It's hard to explain why I didn't see that. I know you don't know how to respond to how are you, because sometimes it's not good. So I hope it is not too bad though right now. Yeah, so I'm going to bring it back down. Happy, but more mellow. Thinking about You Always Knew, which is a love song. It's a love song, and it was written 12 years ago, but it's still applicable today. Thanks for the hearts. Chocolate hearts. I'm going to think of them as that because I don't eat sweets, so I gotta get chocolate in whatever other forms I can. All right. Let's see. Something's wrong. No, I always get this strum wrong. There we go. Let's see. Hold on. Each night as we fall asleep, our kids snuggled up to us tight. You're holding my hand, I love you's all around, and sweet, sweet good nights. I'm always shocked every night inside. I gasp to think that love I feel, the family we made, and it didn't come to pass. All that I am and all that I have, I honor you. And I'm filled with awe and gratitude that you always knew. It was door to door, the Sierra Club, my summer job. You opened the door, smiled down at me, a white marble Greek god. I had another guy, law school coming, I was moving away. But when you asked me out, looked at me that way, yes, I had to say. With all that I am and all that I have, I honor you. Hi, Molly. Also, hi, William. And I'm filled with awe and gratitude that you always knew, you always knew. Our first date ended, and with that came our first goodbye. But the hug we shared before you left, it did not tell a lie. I had told you my Santa Barbara guy had bought me tickets to fly, but you called me up at work to refund his money, said you had to try. With all that I am and all that I have, I honor you. And I'm filled with awe and gratitude that you always knew, you always knew. Months went by, I left my other guy, he found me, we started a fling. But I still didn't know the way you did that this would be the thing. Okay, William. You move for work, but every Friday night you flew to me. You called me up, you cared for me, yeah, you slowly helped me see. With all that I am and all that I have, I honor you. And I'm filled with awe and gratitude that you always knew, you always knew. Yesterday, the anniversary of our 10th year. Another blessed day, another blessed night with you right here. You're my best friend, lover of my dreams, such care you take of me, dear. And if I close my eyes, our handwritten vows, I can still hear. We said with all that I am and all that I have, I honor you. And I'm filled with awe and gratitude that you always knew, you always knew. You always knew. You always knew, you always knew. Oh, that's an interesting question. Well, as a kind of a science-minded person, I don't use the term spirituality, although a lot of the practices I engage in, meditation, so other people are consistent with spiritual practices, just as an aside. But like nonviolent communication and meditation and so on. But I'm very rigorously science minded. So with that caveat, I would say that I enjoy music. So I always wanted to be a choreographer, a dance performer, like modern dance from like the age of 12. And I've always been very I loved writing and poetry and so on. And my dad would play the acoustic guitar growing up. He played folk music, not just for casually, not as a career. And so putting all that together, the dance thing kind of faded, and I just kind of wanted to find an outlet for my creativity. So got more and more into music as a hobby, and started really writing songs. And when I met somebody who was a songwriter who gave me a little coaching lesson, like maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever, I don't know. And just started practicing a lot on my own. And then started taking music voice lessons rather. And that those came with recitals. And after years of doing recitals and feeling like I get nervous every time I do them, because they were only like once every 3 or 4 months, I thought, I need to just do this more often. I really want an avenue for my creative expression, which is maybe how I would put it. And so I started doing open mics. And then through open mics, somebody said, hey, have you heard of online live streaming? There's this thing called YouNow, was all the rage at the time. And I started broadcasting on there. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like from home. Because I'm at home a lot. To the extent I'm doing work for money, I'm at home. I homeschool my kids. I'm at home a lot. And it was like, oh my God, that just would be amazing to be able to just flip a switch and connect with other people. I also really wanted that connection. So it's connection and it's expression. I would practice every day on my own in my own space. And it's like, if I can get comfortable, just to where it's a matter of course to do it with other people, then how much more rewarding. So yeah, sure. Thanks for asking. So I think I want to end off with, oh, my phone is going dark all the time. What do I have there? So we could just end. What time is it? Oh, it's not that late. So I think I'm going to end with When in Doubt, Wait. I'm not sure if you guys have. Thanks for the chocolate hearts. This is a song that is based on. A lot of times I write songs. Here's some other reasons I write songs and do songs is that I like to put advice that I've received that I have valued into my songs. Not so much because I'm wanting other people that should do what I'm doing, but I mean the initial motive is that I can advise myself in a song, like when I'm going astray in one way or another that I don't want to be doing, I can sing a song and like go, okay, gotta get back on track. I have probably, I don't know how many of my songs are like that. Probably let's see, 1, 2, I'm going to count them here. Sort of 3, 4, sort of 5, 6, 7, 8. At least of my songs are that way. So this is one of them, and it's just a simple song. Make sure I open the right one. It is about advice my dad gave me, which I cannot seem to find now. There it is. How are you doing, Molly, by the way? How are you today? We're still suffering with smoke. That's my main theme. I'm afraid that might be my main theme for many a day to come. Thanks for those hearts. Yeah, this is advice that my dad gave me. He said, when in doubt, don't. And that advice has proven so valuable. I modified it to be when in doubt, wait, because I think a lot of times the don't is just to give you time, And so I put in this song all the reasons why I like the advice. So again, to encourage myself to wait to when I'm not sure. You're good. You're pretty good. Okay, cool. All right. Somewhere along the line, my daddy told me, when in doubt, don't is the best policy. And as time went by, more and more I could see, waiting to be sure was for sure the way for me. So I said, when in doubt, don't. When in doubt, wait. When you take your time, your choice will be great. I found getting in was easier than getting out. So I'd best say no when I have any doubt. So I said, when in doubt, please don't. When in doubt, wait. When you take your time, your choice will be great. And when I take time to calm my reptilian brain, I can hear my wise neocortex once again. So I say, when in doubt, don't. When in doubt, wait. When you take your time, your choice will be great. Spotting all the pros and cons I can find, and connecting all the dots, it takes time. So I say, when in doubt, please don't. When in doubt, wait. When you take your time, your choice will be great. Thanks. Well, for years now I've applied this theory and enjoyed the benefits repeatedly. So I still say, when in doubt, don't. When in doubt, wait. When you take your time, when you take your time, your choice will be great. Yeah, I say, when in doubt, don't. When in doubt, wait. When you take your time, your choice will be great. Your choice will be great. Your choice will be great. Thank you. Yeah, it definitely helps me go, right, when in doubt, wait, stop, sing the little song. Okay, right. I'm not going to go ahead. I'm acting out of irrationality, stress, whatever. Just came up today, actually. So it helps. It's funny because when my dad died, one of his friends described him as impulsive. Yay! Glad to provide the backtrack for Dancing with Kittens. This should be a new show. Hi, Fernand. That's great. I love that vision. That's so cute. But yeah, what was I saying there? About yeah, so he, I think it might have been one of those situations where do as I say, not as I do, because he could have been described as, at least toward the well, maybe his whole life, at least his adult life, as pretty impulsive. Big Lou loves it. Hi, Big Lou. That's so great. Oh, thanks for sharing that with me. So yeah, speaking of sharing, I think my time of sharing has come to an end for the night. I actually have a bit of a headache. Not good enough sleep for the last couple nights. I don't think it's related to the smoke, although we have nice air filtration in our room. But I am getting a little headache. Thanks for hanging out with me. It means so much. Good to see you again, Dr. X and Molly and others both on Periscope. Oh, my dad was a complicated person. He was a complicated person. I thankfully have many awesome things to remember about him. So it's not like I have a bunch of just, I have a lot of memories that are like, oh, he wrote this super sweet lullaby for me. But he also was really hurt in his life by various things that his parents did, and then on from there, and kind of took it personally rather than being able to empathize with the other people. It's like, well, that's them. That's what they're going through. So that led to all kinds of interpersonal challenges. And so he and I kind of had our difficulties like toward the end of his life. But I know he loved me, and I think he knows I loved him, and we said that often to each other. So that's good. And my parents divorced when I was 6. And so when I was little, I have some really sweet memories. He was just a very vulnerable, warm, more completely at that point in his life. The injuries were not quite as, they hadn't quite set in as much. And that was the time he wrote that lullaby for me, which I'm not sure if you've heard that or not, Tumble Star. But, and just I have pictures of him just being a very warm father. So thanks. He died in 2018, so he's been on my mind. I'm still processing his estate and all that stuff. Not easy losing people. Not easy. Even if you had difficulties, not easy. Anyway, I see you're typing, Molly, so I'll pause a little bit. But what else can I say? I come on most weekdays between like 5:15 and 6:15 Pacific time. I try to be off by 6, but I often am not. I don't come on the weekends. I do all my own music, mostly modern American folk. Thank you. I feel like that's kind of the point. That's actually one of the reasons I like to be on here is connection, And to me, authenticity is highly underrated. And so, yeah. So I'm happy to have that connection and share that. Thanks for being with me, guys. Molly, you're still typing, so I'm going to hold off. What else to say? I'm simulcasting Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. And I'm still very, very new on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. So if anybody ever wants to hop over there and follow me there, that would be helpful. It's a slow process getting a foothold in on a new platform, but that's okay. It's all good. Hi, MVR Victor. Welcome. I unfortunately am about to sign off. It's hard to find in people. Oh, yeah, I think people are scared. People are scared about being judged, which I totally get in this society. Hey, Carrie, good to see you. I literally am hopping off. I know often I'm later, but I actually have a bit of a headache, and I've done my time. I got on a little earlier, so I actually got my 4 songs in. And you're on Facebook. Thanks for hopping on there. So yeah, in fact, I think I'll share this broadcast. I never did that on Periscope Musicians and Friends. Let's see, Periscope Musicians and Friends. All right, guys. Thanks for being with me. Take care. Have a good one, Carrie. I'm so sorry I missed you. Anyone new or newish likes the music live or replay, I hope you consider following and sharing. Molly, you're typing, so I'm going to hold on one more minute. And then I'm going to be poised to hit stop streaming. I hope you're doing well, Carrie. I hope all is well and you've got your biking still going awesomely. We are inundated in smoke. It's horrendous, and it has been for over a month. It's awful, 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 awful. You're welcome. Take care, everyone. Bye.